celebration that now surrounds Barrera. But then the two unexpected losses in 1994, which up to this point define his career. He's won 8 straight on the comeback trail and can get back to that level of stardom that he once occupied if he scores a victory tonight.
He showed that he wants back with his defeat of Orlando Canizales, the great former Bantamweight champion, early this year. But I want to tell you a good story about boxing, which we don't often hear. Jones's manager, his name is Gary Gittleson, gave up his entire share of the purse to Jones for this fight. And his promoter, Cedric Kushner, gave up everything except his expenses. Reason being, they wanted Jones to make a big payday. They know that this could be his last big money fight.
It's a beautiful story, George. Could it damage the fighter's confidence by suggesting to him that they don't think he can win the fight?
No, I do agree. You don't want anything to be an extra burden on a fighter, and that kind of thought can penetrate a fighter. You're right.
Good for his pocketbook, maybe not so good for his psyche. Here's the record for Junior Jones, 42-2, 26 KOs. It is his left jab on which he'll have to defend tonight because he has a damaged right hand and is looking ahead to surgery following this bout.
He took some shots in his hand before the fight, and he iced that hand down. He says it hasn't given him trouble in his last few fights.
So as Poison Jones waits in the ring, Marco Antonio Barrera, with the Mexican music accompaniment, gets ready to bring his perfect overall record, perfect record in title fights, into the ring.
Mexico produces, about every decade, a once-in-a-decade kind of fighter that we become very familiar with, going back to Salvador Sanchez and, of course, Julio Cesar Chavez, who happen to be Barrera's heroes. Perhaps he will be in that class if he can maintain the way he's looked in recent fights for the next couple of years.
And as we suggested to you, he already occupies the kind of stardom tier which has the smell of money. His potential opponents, you might have heard 126-pounder Kevin Kelly and his people talking about Barrera after Kevin's victory last week. Prince Nassim Hamed, unbeaten from England at 126 pounds, is here at ringside tonight to observe Barrera and try to decide whether he might be interested in angling for a big money fight with Marco Antonio. There are others, and Junior Jones wants to change all of their plans. The record for Barrera, 43-0, 31 KOs, many of them fashioned with his brutal left hook. And now for the official introductions, let's go up to ring announcer Mark Biro.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the beautiful Ice Palace in downtown Tampa, Florida, as HBO Sports presents World Championship Boxing. Under the promotion of Yared Productions and Square Ring Incorporated, in association with Yared, Motley and Rice Incorporated, and Budweiser, proud to be your bud. Your matchmaker is good guy Jim Waldrop. Tonight's bouts are under the auspices of the Florida State Athletic Commission, the Chairman Eric Riley, Vice Chairman Terry James, Commissioners Al Goodman, Dr. Jack Gugino, and Aleida Waldman. The attending Executive Director is Mike Shanti. Ring officials assigned by the Florida State Athletic Commission. Attending ringside physicians are Dr. Rodolfo Eichberg, Dr. Victor Martinez, and Dr. Frank Colunga. Your timekeeper this evening is the bodacious Billy Harold, and counting for the knockdowns at the bell, the alternate referee, Tommy Timmons. This is your first championship bout of the evening. 12 rounds for the WBO Junior Featherweight Championship of the world. Ring officials assigned by the World Boxing Organization, President Francisco Valquersal and Supervisor Alfonso Munera. Your judges at ringside are Sam Birouette, from Brooklyn, New York, and from Miami, Florida, Paul Herman, and from Rio Piedras, Puerto Rico, Jose Rivera. Your referee for this event from Tampa, Florida, Max Parker Jr. Introducing now the contestants. First, in the blue corner to my right, wearing red trunks, white trim, weighing 122 pounds, with a professional record of 42 victories, 2 defeats, 26 wins by way of knockout. He hails from Brooklyn, New York, the IBC Junior Featherweight Champion of the world, and the challenger, Junior Poison Jones. And ladies and gentlemen, in the red corner, wearing los colores de Mexico, red, white, and green, he also weighs 122 pounds. He is undefeated in 43 professional bouts. He has 31 wins by way of knockout. El Hijo de la República de Mexico and WBO Junior Featherweight Champion of the world, Marco Antonio Barrera. Barrera, 12 rounds for the WBO Junior Featherweight Championship of the world.
Go, champ. Let's go. Okay, gentlemen, this bout is for the World Boxing Organization Championship title. The one rules in the dressing room. From this point until the end of the bout, you both obey my every command. I wish you both luck. Touch gloves, come out, box on the bell.
Jim, Junior Jones has a record of 35-0 against Mexican fighters. He hasn't faced a Mexican fighter like Barrera. Before this is over, he may think he's in with 2 or 3 Mexican fighters at once.
A lot of interesting stories surround Jones tonight. He spent most of the past 3 months in training with a fellow named Evander Holyfield because they share the services of trainer Tommy Brooks. He shares Holyfield's faith, his role as an underdog, and ultimately, of course, he hopes the outcome as well. In addition, they have hired Lou Duva for this fight to work as a second in Jones's corner because they believe that Barrera hits low and gets away with it. And if he does, they want Duva to create a ruckus, which they say Lou does better than anybody else in the sport.
That's a first for me, Jim. I never heard of a
designated ruckus creator.
There's always something.
But you heard George Foreman say that for the first 3 or 4 rounds of the bout, Junior Jones has what George called the best jab in boxing. He's got to get it going early, George.
Yeah, Junior Jones' strategy should be steal this fight. Don't try to go out there and win it in the first, second round. Just load this guy to sleep, get ahead on point, stay ahead. And of course, Barrera, he should understand, don't go looking for a knockout. Win the fight, the knockout should come.
Junior must do everything possible to be sure that he stays in a boxing match with Barrera. The closer Barrera gets to Jones on a regular basis, the more trouble Junior will be in. They trade punches in the center of the ring. Jones with the jab, Barrera going with the left hand to the body.
And Jones landed a very good right hand. You just can't win with the jab. And sometimes you've got to set the jab up by hitting him with a right hand, just as you do the reverse.
That right hand will make Barrera respect Junior Jones for a couple of rounds so he can establish himself as a better boxer. But if he goes in and try to finish because he did hurt him with that right hand, he could turn this thing into a knockdown drag-out.
Well, already they're back at a punching distance. Jones extending the jab and trying to keep Barrera on the end of it. He said he wanted to get Barrera's attention early with some hard shots, and he did it with that one right hand.
Now that right hand that Junior Jones lands,
Another one.
man, it could have made him a bit more aggressive than he ought to be at this early in the stage of the fight. But he smells a knockout. He may be smelling improperly now.
He's on his way to winning the first round, and so far, the right hand shows no sign that he can't throw it or will pull it because of pain.
And Barrera, uncharacteristically going backward, because early in a fight he does try to impose his will on his opponents.
It's hard to go forward all the time against a jab like Junior's.
Right now, Jones is having his way with Barrera.
Ordinarily, I would,
Back it up, back it up.
ordinarily, I would say so, but I wouldn't want to mix it up with this guy this early in the fight.
And there Barrera lands a left hand and then a little right inside. So Marco Antonio Barrera getting in a couple of quick counters in the last 10 seconds of a round largely controlled by Junior Jones. And as we go to Barrera's corner, our interpreter is Hector Garcia.
Sí, que no vuelva a pasarse las derechas.
Don't do this again.
No vuelva a pasarse.
Don't do this again.
Manos bien arriba. Bien arriba, bien arriba.
You're avoiding those punches fine.
Vivo, vivo.
Be alive. Turn around, and when he throws that right hand, then turn around and hit him.
Empieza a clavar lo tuyo, tu izquierda por dentro.
Use your left hand inside.
De abajo para arriba. De abajo para arriba.
From that part. Más cintura.
Here's that big right hand very early in the round that certainly got Barrera's attention for the rest of the round.
And as you saw, Jones landed another solid right cross later on in the round. Meanwhile, he threw 54 jabs, exactly doubling Barrera's output in round number 1. And you can see that Harold Letterman gave round 1 to Junior Jones. We'll check in with Harold verbally for his scorecard at a few key junctures in the fight.
I think Junior Jones may have opened up too early with his right hands. He could have concealed the power he has for a few rounds. But once a guy tastes your power early, he thinks, oh, I survived. He'll walk right through you.
You saw the trademark Barrera left hook to the lower body, digging in hard against Jones's lower rib cage. That is truly Marco Antonio's bread and butter, is body punching, especially with the left hand.
He also was able to land a good left hook to the below the belt there before that round ended. So he's putting everything in perspective.
Well, we'll find out how engaged Lou Duva is if he lands a few more low blows. Should see Lou popping up out of the corner if in fact it takes place.
What's going to have to happen is Junior Jones' corner is going to have to calm him down and take him back to boxing. Go back to boxing. Forget this punching, matching blow for blow. Just not going to work. He was too excited by the success of that initial right hand. It may have caused him to be just a bit overconfident.
As they get into close quarters and exchange punches, you can see Barrera going to the body. Junior Jones trying to work upstairs. Barrera doing a pretty effective job of tying him up in there.
The referee is making a very bad mistake telling these guys to break with his hands on their back. You've got to get in there and get between those guys.
Another low blow by Barrera. The referee didn't see it. Much of the crowd did.
You know, McKinney fought a wonderful fight against Barrera, and he got pulled into these kinds of exchanges also when he did his best work from outside. And Jones is now getting him to exchanges that he doesn't need, George.
Yeah, he's gotten away from his game plan. Oh, another low blow.
And again, the referee does and says nothing. So there have been about 4 of those low blows already by Barrera.
Back it up.
You're going to have to wait to see if Junior Jones's corner will try to do something about it.
Let's go, Junior.
Good hard right hand by Jones. Barrera shakes it off, comes back inside. Body punching. And round 2 seemed to belong to Marco Antonio Barrera.
need 2 or 3 jabs at a time, okay? All right. Shorten up the hook. Okay? The hook is coming a little too wide, baby. Okay. Hey, look, when you throw these shots, when you get close, man, come around the side. Okay? Start banging this guy in the arms, too, okay? Don't wait on him. Don't wait on him. Don't let him get the momentum. You start the momentum, okay?
How we doing?
You're doing good. Doing great. Very well. Doing great.
Don't go in too straight. Keep turning this guy, turn this guy, and snap that jab out of him. And get that right hand off.
Good. Move it, Red. Get out.
What's inside? That looked like it was right on the top of the trunks. I didn't think it was a bad low blow. No. Let's see if Jones goes back to that jab.
Good right hand by Jones and a left hook in there. Barrera taking both punches. Tripling up, quadrupling up on the jab. Now he's back to the fight plan.
No. I got him.
Junior Jones is establishing his left hand. It's been a superior jab, but he's got to make sure he keeps himself moving. Don't just jab and stand there, because this Barrera is aiming a good right hand over top that left jab. Now a good jab by Barrera.
Barrera willing to jab with the jabber.
Junior Jones' corner should easily tell him, win this thing with a left jab. Who cares about the right hand at this point?
And stay out at this distance, right? I mean, this is a good, manageable working distance for Junior Jones.
And Barrera should try to mix it up, get in and get those body punches. Keep close to this guy. Don't give him any false courage.
One thing about Barrera when he's coming in, if he has a flaw, he lacks head movement a lot of the time. Tends to come straight in and back straight out, right?
He has this great desire to mix it up, and once you have that, no one can talk you out of it.
Junior Jones lands a right hand and a solid left hook, and then ties up Barrera. An excellent piece of work in the middle of the ring.
When you throw that kind of power, you've got to get some oxygen from somewhere, so it's best to tie your guy up.
Barrera sneaking in the hard left-hand body shot. Junior Jones has managed the ring very well in this round, keeping an appreciable distance between himself and Barrera, and landing the left hand up and downstairs.
Go push him. I got you.
This referee is paying no attention to the low blows. Ooh, what a left hook by Barrera to the body.
He commits so hard that left hook to the body.
Watch your hands.
Jones just missing a right hand. Barrera damaging Jones in the middle of the chest with a hard left-hand shot.
Jones' arms are longer, so it's at a disadvantage for him to get close and start trading shots.
And still to come, the man most critics now regard as the world's best pound-for-pound fighter, 168-pound world champion, moving up the fight for a 175-pound interim title tonight. Roy Jones Jr. against the smartest opponent of his career, 39-year-old Mike McCallum. Never let it be said that Roy can be unaware of when the red light is on in the dressing room camera.
You keep throwing those punches below, he's not going to last. Up and bottom, top and bottom. And counter punch with those hooks. You listen to me?
So far, Roy Jones has shown that he is a real quality fighter, but it's a long way to go, and he has been absorbing body punishment.
You mean Junior Jones?
Junior Jones.
We have a lot of confusion here tonight with Junior Jones in one fight and Roy Jones Jr. in the other. Jones Jr., Junior Jones. Thank heaven we're boxing fans. Letterman's card through 3. When Jones throws a lot of jabs, he tends to control the action. He threw 46 of them in round 3 and landed half of his power shots as a result.
Barrera is making a mistake to let Junior Jones establish even one round where it's mostly his left jab, because this guy gets some courage, his endurance and thought of endurance will increase. He should stay on Junior Jones if he want to win this thing. Stay on him.
While we were looking at Roy Jones, the men in Barrera's corner were telling their fighter that they thought Junior Jones was ready to go and that he should step in and pressure him and look to do damage.
Back it up. I'm pushing. Save your energy. Get the jab back. Get that jab back.
Barrera throwing to the left arm of Junior Jones. And now he lands a right uppercut on the button as Jones backs away. Sneaks in a low blow, and the referee has seen it.
For the first time he noticed, but that wasn't the worst of the low blows. If in fact it was a low blow.
Well, I thought it was a low blow, but the referee really didn't see it.
Okay.
Junior Jones had to sell him on it.
That's true. That's true. If you're going to sell it, this is the time to sell it.
But he sold it to him from conviction because he knew he had been hit.
Boy, he
believed in the product he was selling.
So at least referee Max Barker Jr. has now addressed the subject. We're in round 4. Jones landing left hands. Hard right hand by Junior Jones. And another one in close. Barrera shaking those punches off and coming back with artillery of his own. Barrera, like so many Mexican stars, Chavez among them, willing to take punishment in order to give more of it back.
When you're not a good boxer, stand-up boxer, you know that your chance for glory has to be in the mix-up there. You got to keep mixing it up.
There must be something about Barrera's style that entices his opponents to go into exchanges with him. They see openings, they shoot for the openings, sometimes they hit the openings, but in the meantime, he's building a foundation for the later rounds by going to the body.
That's exactly true, not better said. He flinches when you hit him with the good right hands to give you this false confidence that he won't last long. But he'll be there.
And then you, in the meantime, you wind up fighting his fight.
Exactly. Good left hand stopped Barrera in his tracks momentarily.
Yeah, and then Jones fired a left, and now Jones fires a right hand to the chin of Barrera. And then Barrera comes back, and this is deteriorating into the kind of war that Barrera fought with Kennedy McKinney, and logic tells you that Junior Jones shouldn't be in that kind of a fight with him.
Yeah, you're going to move a little bit.
That's it.
Harold Letterman, your score through 4 rounds.
Larry, 2 rounds apiece, 38-38. I gave rounds 1 to 3 to Junior Jones. I thought he outfought Barrera, but boy, I tell you, Marco's starting to take over. I thought Marco won that 4th round. He's digging that left hook hard to Junior's body. Junior's not moving side to side at all. He's standing right in front of Marco. I don't think he can beat Marco that way. And incidentally, in the 2nd round, that was an awful display of rabbit punching from both guys.
And incidentally, Harold, I have it 3 rounds to 1 for Jones. I gave him the last round.
I see it that way too. But then I never did see that way.
Come on, guys, get up, move it. Round 5. Round 5. Go back. No.
Unbeaten Marco Antonio Barrera in the gaily colored Mexican decor shorts.
Break on the back up. Back up on the back.
And Ivy Jones, nicknamed Poison, also called Junior Jones, in the red.
Hey, no, I'm going to break. Back it up. Watch your hand in there, right?
Junior Jones is trying to get a knockout.
They bang heads.
Try to steal this fight. Steal it. The knockout will come if you steal it.
Break. Back it up. I got it.
But that's not who he is, George. Like Kennedy McKinney, like Kevin Kelly, like Meldrick Taylor before them, he has boxing skills, but he also has a warrior's heart. And sometimes that heart gets in the way.
Antonio Barrera leaping in with the left hook. Jones momentarily stunned into inactivity by it. And Barrera goes back to stalking his man.
And Jones has a bloody nose, I believe.
And Barrera just stuck it with the left jab. Hard right hand by Junior. Crowd is excited to see Barrera take so many punches from Junior Jones.
The referee is at fault here. You cannot put your hands on the back of fighters and tell them to break. You got to get in there and do something yourself.
Oh no, there you go. Keep it clean.
Especially when there's been some punching below the belt. They're going to get upset and do bad things to one another.
There's been punching below the belt. There's been holding behind the head. There's been rabbit punching, as Harold pointed out. We've had a little bit of everything in the early rounds.
It's a prize fight, guys. And Barrera is catching some straight, hard punches.
And Barrera now turns to Parker and says, he's butting me under the eye. How about that?
It's been happening. That's why the referee has got to get in here and go to work. He can't stand off and do it with his mouth.
And there's a cut above the left eye now of Marco Antonio Barrera, which he's going to say is the result of the butt moments ago from the head of Junior Jones. Blood trickling into Barrera's left eye. New urgency for the unbeaten Mexican. Down he goes. Hard right hand by Junior.
Can he get out of the round? He's very hurt. Very hurt.
Look at me. Watch him.
The referee is giving him an awful long time to survive.
More time than he deserved.
Why did he get so much time to survive?
More time than he deserved, but it's going to be over. The bell ends the round. Barrera is knocked down. The referee stopped the fight.
Has the referee stopped the fight?
Referee has stopped the fight.
No, the corner man came in to stop it also.
No, I don't believe so.
I think they were in to complain about the fouling. I don't think they wanted to stop it. Referee might have drawn the conclusion they wanted to stop it.
You did this. The referee is confused. He's asking the timekeeper whether the bell went down before he stopped it.
The referee disqualified this guy for running into the ring.
Nobody seems certain of exactly what happened.
Well, we're going to find out shortly. But Junior Jones has picked up a monumental upset over Marco Antonio Barrera and revived his star status. Merchant talking with ring announcer Mark Barrow to try to find out exactly what happened.
According to Barrow, that when the bell rang, Barrera's cornerman was already in the ring stopping it. I didn't see it that way. I thought he was coming in to pull his fighter back to the corner at the end of the round, not to stop the fight.
And George, you thought maybe the referee DQ'd him or felt that they wanted to stop the fight?
I think the corner was really trying to stop this fight.
You do?
Now, for what reason? It could have been because of the bell. It could have been for...
According to the cornermen, they are saying that they entered the ring because the bell rang. They did not enter the ring to stop the fight. But the corner of Jones wisely jumped in, started jumping up and down like the fight was over, and they seem to be selling